At this time, I would like to call to order the Monday, July 6, 2026 meeting of the Currituck County Board of Commissioners to order. At this time, we will stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance for Pastor Myron Simmons. And I ask everybody to remove your hats, please.
Before we pray, I want us to bow for a moment of silence in memory of Commissioner Etheridge. Let us pray. Gracious God, we come to you with thanks for the world you have given us. We rejoice in the waters of the ocean and the sound that surround us. We thank you for the rain that waters our earth, even right now. It waters our earth from above and the rivers that flow through the lands we are privileged to live and work in during our daily lives. We ask for your divine guidance in this time of change and grief. We give honor to Owen Etheridge for his leadership in this county and for his service as a member of this board. We ask for wisdom in the deliberations and decisions made tonight. Help this board give positive direction to this county. We pray that even in times of differences, there will be harmony in working together and unity in service. As this meeting concludes and the work begins, we pray that the fruit of this meeting will nourish the growth and health of this community today, tomorrow, and on into the future. We pray these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
At this time, I invite you to join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item that we're going to do tonight is a resolution and recognition honoring the service of Commissioner Etheridge. As you'll see tonight, we have flowers in his place and a cloth over his seat in memory and commemoration. At this time, I think we'll go in the resolution unless anybody has any comments. So we do comments after the resolution. Okay. Resolution honoring the life and service of Commissioner J. Owen Etheridge. Whereas the Currituck County Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Currituck County mourn the passing of Commissioner J. Owen Etheridge, who departed this life on June 25th, 2026, and whose death marks the loss of a devoted public servant, respected leader, and steadfast advocate for the community he proudly called home. And
whereas Commissioner Etheridge faithfully served the citizens of Currituck County, first elected to the Board of Commissioners in 1994 and serving through 2002, re-elected in 2004 and serving through 2012, and again entrusted by the voters in 2018 to continue his service until declining health compelled him to request a leave of absence in October 2025. And
whereas Commissioner Etheridge carried out the responsibilities of public office with integrity, humility, optimism, and an unwavering commitment to making Currituck County a better place to live, work, and raise a family, earning the respect and admiration of his fellow commissioners, county staff, and citizens he faithfully served. And
whereas Commissioner Etheridge was a lifelong advocate for agriculture and recognized its importance as the foundation of Currituck County's history, economy, and future, and consistently supported policies that protected farmland, strengthened an agricultural community, and promoted responsible growth while preserving the county's rural character, thereby contributing to the continued strength and prosperity of Currituck County. And
whereas the citizens of Currituck County will continue to benefit from Commissioner Etheridge's capable leadership, sound judgment, and selfless contributions, and the Board of Commissioners desires to officially express its profound gratitude for his decades of faithful service and its deepest sympathy to his family.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Currituck County Board of Commissioners hereby honors the life, service, and legacy of Commissioner J. Owen Etheridge, extends its heartfelt condolences to his family and loved ones, and expresses its sincere gratitude for honoring or for sharing so much of his life in service to the people of Currituck County.
Be it further resolved that on behalf of the citizens of Currituck County, the board expresses its deep appreciation for the gifts of time, ability, wisdom, and steadfast commitment that Commissioner Etheridge devoted to the service of this county, and recognizes that his example of dedicated public service will continue to inspire future generations.
Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be recorded in the official minutes of the Board of Commissioners, and an executed copy be presented to the family of Commissioner J. Owen Etheridge as a lasting expression of the board's respect, appreciation, and sympathy. Adopted the 6th day of July, 2026. I'd like a motion to adopt. We have a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the motion has passed, and we have a copy for you and that we'd like to present to you. But before we do that, I'm going to let anyone else that has any comments, if they'd like to say anything.
I'll just say that what we have lost is a stellar member of the community, a father, a husband, but we have lost knowledge of this county, intimate knowledge of this county that can't be replicated. And the stories he told, the ones that had the privilege of hearing those stories, maybe more than once, I hope you will take those stories and share them with your loved ones, your children, and your grandchildren.
And I would just like to make a comment. You know, Owen grew up here and family, and if you grew up here or spent any amount of time here, and you talked to Owen, you learned a lot about this county. He taught me a lot, and when I came on as a commissioner, he'd always had advice for me. I always listened. I was grateful for his knowledge, his friendship, and you know, just knowing his family and Renee and everything that they've done for this community. It's been a blessing to me to have known Owen. And I'll never forget him or anything he's done for this community.
Well, I'd just like to say I've known Owen since I was about 18 years old through his sister Leanne, and I felt like I was a part of the family, and he's going to be missed. I'm sorry for all of you. Owen loved Currituck County, and he loved serving the people.
Owen will be missed. Owen was the man. I love giving him a hard time. He took it so great. The last day I saw him, a couple days before he passed, he smiled when I was just harassing him, like I always did, not in a bad way. He's going to be missed.
I guess I'm the person that knew him the least, and to Selena's point, continuity is what I think of when I think of Owen. He had years and decades of knowledge on what happened, why it happened, who wanted it to happen, who didn't want it to happen. And that kind of knowledge isn't something that you come by just by happenstance. It's because he cared. He truly cared about this county and the people.
Well, I said my piece at the service, but I do want to add to it. I was thinking about Owen, and the thing that he would always tell me was, let me play devil's advocate. He would always tell me, and this would be something that we had already agreed on, and by playing devil's advocate, he would make sure that you looked at every perspective of whatever it is you were getting ready to do, even after you've already made your mind up on how you were going to move. A lot of times he would bring something forward that you may not have thought about. He was very thoughtful, and the institutional knowledge that Currituck County just lost, I can tell you from being on the board with him so many years, he brought so much of history and institutional knowledge that can't be replaced. And his family shared him with us so many times when we all should have been home with our families, but Owen would be here, and it didn't matter what it was. If it was for Currituck County, you could count on him to show up and do whatever needed to be done, whether it was in Raleigh, Washington, D.C., Lower Currituck, Knott's Island. It didn't matter. You could count on Owen. He would be there, and he always was kind of like an anchor to the board. He never got excited. He never got out of order. He never raised his voice. Although I did see him and Gene Gregory kind of go at it a little bit one time, but we all kissed and made up whenever we would argue. But anyways, we will miss Owen, and we thank you for sharing him with us all these years in Currituck County. And as I said before, when you look around Currituck County, you'll see his fingerprint just about in every community in this county where he was a part of something good that happened. So with that, we want to present you with this resolution, and we also have something else we want to present, and I've asked the board to join me down front. We also are privileged to have Senator Bobby Hanig here tonight, who also has a presentation he is going to make as well. And it really speaks highly for him to be here tonight. So if y'all come on up here, in case somebody wants to take a picture. And your family can, all of y'all can come up here if you'd like.
Any family members come on?
Any family members come up. There's the resolution.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. And then here's another copy that you can have for family as well. So here, you help me hold it. There you go. And a gift.
Don't.
And we also have the flag, the Currituck County flag that was on Owen's for a pall. We wanted y'all to have that because we know that he would love to have the Currituck County flag. And I'm going to turn it over to Senator Hanig now.
Renee, you know, always considered Owen a friend. The days we spent on the couch talking about issues before I became a commissioner, so I could get here and do a really good job for the county. I learned pretty quick that when I asked him a question, it was never yes or no. There was always a story.
Always.
And that's how you remembered the answer, because he told the story. And that went a long way with me. And you've been a great friend. And the calls while he was ill your strength was magnificent. Nothing could measure that. And I'm truly grateful to call him a friend and to call you a friend. And the day after he passed, I had this flag flown over the state capitol. It was signed by Governor Josh Stein. The state of North Carolina presents this North Carolina flag in memory of James Owen Etheridge, County Commissioner, public servant, husband, father, friend, and certifies that it was flown over the state capitol building on the 26th day of June, 2026. And I humbly give you this for a life of service, and we are so grateful. Our county is grateful, our state is grateful, and our nation is grateful. Thank you so much.
Very much. Very much.
I'm going to put this back in the phone.
Okay. Yes, please.
Would you like to say anything?
Well, just want to thank everybody here. The board has been so kind for him while he's been so sick. And I have watched him come to meetings, even when I didn't want him to come to meetings. But he has been here, and he loved the county. He loved all of y'all, and he truly adored serving Currituck. And y'all will miss him. Grandkids and I will miss him even more. Ellie Mae couldn't be here tonight, but she misses him greatly also.
Oh, I bet.
So thank you very, very much. And just finally, he is in no more pain because he was hurting so bad. And I have to be... Yes, ducks. I am sad but happy that he's not hurting anymore.
Yes.
So, thanks everybody. I
Well, we
appreciate
love
it.
y'all.
Love y'all too.
And we're here if you need us. Do something. Take that tape.
And the grandkids say,
Yeah.
thank you very much, because they miss me a man too. Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you, Renee. You don't care. I'll hug you.
Fable says, I like hugs too. Thanks.
We're still stands.
I'm right here.
Oh, hey. How you doing?
Bobby takes hugs all.
Just sit here a minute. No chance to- All right. Y'all are welcome to stay for the meeting if you'd like. I know you probably don't have anything better to do than watch this meeting. And Senator Hannick, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate everything that you've done for us in Raleigh. You've been our advocate. Yes, our rock star. You took care of the occupancy tax situation, and you've just been so responsive to us in this county, and we appreciate it.
I appreciate that. It's all a team.
And he continues to fight for the ferry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Bobby.
you. At this time, I'm going to ask the attorney to read the ethics awareness.
Pursuant to GS 153A-44, a commissioner has a duty to vote on matters coming before the board, but may be excused from voting on issues involving the commissioner's own financial interest, official conduct, or on matters on which the commissioner is prohibited from voting under GS 14-234 or 160D-109. In accordance with Chapter 2, Division 3 of the Currituck County Code of Ordinances, it is the duty of every commissioner to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of conflict. Does any commissioner have any known conflict of interest or appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before the Board of Commissioners in this meeting? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict.
Anyone have anything? Hearing none, I am going to move next to item 4, approval of the agenda. I don't believe we have any amendments tonight.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is public comment. I have no one signed up for public comment. Is there anyone that wishes to speak? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. And we will move into our legislative hearings. PB 26-04, Evolve request for deferral. The applicant has requested to defer to a later date. I'm not sure what that date is. Do we know, Ms.? July 20th. So that will be at our next
meeting.
commissioners meeting.
Do you need a motion
Yes.
to approve
Yes.
that? I make a motion that we delay a PB 26-04 Evolve legislative hearing until our July 20th meeting.
We have a motion,
Second.
second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 2 is PB 26-07, Currituck County request to amend the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapters 2, 5, and 6 to establish phasing requirements and perimeter landscape buffers for major subdivisions, and amend the special use permit finding to evaluate harmony in relation to consistency with the land use plan. Ms. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening to the board. This is a board-sponsored text amendment. We discussed this at the March 6th work session this year related to major subdivisions. Firstly, we discussed moving the provision related to special use permit review standards for harmony to be considered with the land use plan conformity, as opposed to the injuring the value of adjoining or abutting lands, which is generally needs an appraiser expert testimony for that particular finding. So this makes that change. Also, thank you, Chad. Also, the board directed staff to establish phasing requirements for major subdivisions, including limitations on the number or percentage of lots that may be recorded annually, and to also have contingent phasing requirements requiring that 65% of lots within a prior phase receive building permits before additional phases may proceed. The discussion at the work session was related to completion, basically complete the first phase before you move to the second phase. This is not a full completion, but it allows phases to be recorded when the prior phase does receive that percentage of building permits. And there's also a standard related to still requiring no more than one phase recorded per year. And so it could be longer than a year depending on how quickly those lots are sold and permits are issued. It might be something the board may want to discuss. Here's the specific language in Chapter 2, Section 2.4.8 subdivision. Type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. Each phase shall contain no more than 35% of the total number of proposed lots, or 20 lots, whichever is greater. No more than one phase may be recorded within any 12-month period measured from the recordation date of the prior final plat. Subsequent phases shall not be recorded until building permits have been issued for at least 65% of the lots in the prior phase. And the preliminary plat shall include the earliest date for recording the final plat for each phase. This chart shows what that might look like depending on the total number of lots in the subdivision. So you can see here to the left, there's the number of lots in each subdivision, the maximum phase 1 lots here, the building permits that would have to be issued for those lots before the next phase could go to record, and so forth. And I do have a handout of this sheet, this particular slide, if you'd like one.
Yes, I would. That was not in my agenda packet.
No, it wasn't in the chair.
I'll take one as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Okay.
Further clarifying language that the phasing requirements of the section I just referenced are required to be met prior to the final plat being recorded or approved. Any questions or comments on the phasing at this point?
I have a question. You've broken it down in increments of 20, basically.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, let's say someone had a 42-lot subdivision. Would they do 20 lots, then have to come back for 2?
Yes.
Would we have flexibility on that?
You could provide we could provide flexibility for the board for that.
Do we
Like
need to-
20 and 22
Well-
or something?
You make them wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I was,
Could potentially move the target to a larger number, that these phasing requirements apply to subdivisions of greater than 40 lots, or have the first phase have 50% of the lots and then subsequent phasing.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make it difficult, but if somebody has a 42 lot subdivision, they can do 20 lots, then 20 lots, then they got to wait the third year to do the last two, which means they've got to.
Or else
just-
they do 3 phases.
Well, they're going to want to do as many as they can at a
Yeah.
time. So that's what I was asking.
What's
Would
gonna
we
happen is
have,
those last two are never going to get built.
yeah, would we have the flexibility or discretion to not be held to 20, 20, and then 2?
The way that it's currently written, you do not have that discretion. But we could certainly add that provision into the language.
But doesn't it say whichever is greater?
Yes, 35% or whichever is
So if
greater.
it's 35%, would you say
But
42?
35% of 42
It's
is
20
smaller.
or 20, whichever is greater. So 20 for a 40 lot subdivision, 20 is going to be greater than 35%.
Yeah.
Okay, but it could, if it was 102, let's just go with that, 102. It could be more than 20 though, right? Is the question I have.
Yeah, it can be more
Yes.
than 20.
So it's not
35%,
just set on 20, but 20 is, in your example, the maximum that could be allowed.
In 102, it would be 35, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, would be the max.
So only small subdivisions would be impacted that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Can
I-
we-
Smaller subdivision,
So-
yeah.
20 lot subdivision doesn't apply because we won't see a 20 lot subdivision
No.
because the rule is
Right,
more than 20.
right.
So a 20 lot subdivision isn't even something that we would ever see because it's not a special use permit.
yeah, and
No,
it's-
but you would a 21 lot
But a 21
subdivision.
lot subdivision you would. But what if we? I mean, I see what you're saying.
I think you should start at maybe 40.
I
Let's do
would
45.
I
Can
would
we do
say-
it 45.
You can.
And I'm saying 45 for a reason, because, you know, if it was 47, 7 lots would not be ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, 5 would
Well, like
be.
the one, what is it, is it Ashbrook or whatever, the one, in that
Yeah.
48? I mean, that would be a perfect example.
52,
Ashbrook was 52, and it
Oh, I
had
thought it was 40.
18 months before the first lot could record, so there was no more than one phase. That's
I was just thinking of that
That's the other
number. I
thing,
thought it
like
was,
Newbridge Creek, for example, is coming in, it's 35 lots, they're doing it in 3 phases. Right, so it's not uncommon to have phases of smaller than 20.
Okay.
I think what you've done is good, but we might need to put some sort of language in there so that if there's a remainder of less than so many,
like less than 5 or something.
yeah,
I don't hate that either.
Yeah.
you don't what?
He doesn't hate
I
that.
like that. Sorry.
A remainder?
I like that idea.
Yeah. If the remainder is less than,
Less than 5 or something.
then it could go with the third
I think the
phase.
clean way to do it is at 40 or 45. And then you don't have to worry about discretion. You don't have to worry about, well,
Well, the clean way to do it would be 57 because 20 is 35% of 57.
You're talking about 40 lots or 45 lots?
So 45 lots, if
Instead
Selena, that
of
would be,
the magic number here being
No,
20?
If it was
20
45
don't
lots,
come to us anyway.
Why are we
He's-
it was
making
he's
it
saying it
45
doesn't-
lots, it would be no more than 2
But it
phases.
says
Yeah.
35%.
46, it would be
or
3
be 3 phases, yeah.
I don't
Is
think,
that, would that be hard, would that be hard to
We're
do?
making this so complicated.
You're saying set it at 45 or
45, like
less?
Selena, Commissioner Jarvis said.
I
mean, like
don't
said,
think we need to go from 20 to 45 lots.
We're not going from 20 to 45 lots.
saying it
What we're
wouldn't
saying
apply.
is,
It wouldn't apply until,
wouldn't apply, the phasing wouldn't apply to more than 2 phases if it was 45,
I see what you're saying.
right? If it was 45 or less, 2 phases
Raleigh may
would be
change this
all
in
that
6
would be
months.
Take
needed.
care of it.
Yeah.
So if it was 46, then they would have to do 3 phases.
Okay, 45 or 45 or less, well, basically 21 to 45.
Right.
Then it would be 2 phases.
Yeah, I just think starting at
Okay,
that number is just kind of difficult. If the board agrees,
I like the 45, like.
I like the
Commissioner Jarvis said.
simplicity.
45 with 2 phases.
That's
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And the rest of it looks good.
So we're
Yeah,
just gonna
the
change
rest
the
of it's
starting
good.
quantity then, okay.
Well, so a 45 lot subdivision is still going to be 3 phases.
No, it would
She
be
just
2
said she has a
phases.
35 that's gonna be in 3 phases, correct?
Yeah,
But this
she
would
did.
require that
Yes.
if it's 45, 21 to 45, then there is only 2 phases.
Only 2
They
phases.
if they wanted to do 3 phases, they could do 3.
so
Kenny,
you would
didn't you
just
just
divide
say-
it by 2.
So-
The
their
35 lots,
number.
you're going to do 3 phases on,
But
correct?
But that's their choice, right?
But at
Right.
45 lots, if we apply a 20 lot maximum, that's going to be 2025.
Right, so we're saying that it should be 20, 22, and 23. And if
Or-
it's 40,
Or would you say if it's 21 to 45, 2 phases divided by 2 for their number?
So I think here's an option. So we could say we could say type 2 subdivisions of 46 lots or more have to do the phasing as is, right? And then another provision that subdivisions of 45 lots or less may be developed in 2 phases. And then you have this other language in here related to timing.
Yeah,
Where, and I don't think, we got to it already, I think, let's see. Right here, no. Sorry, it's in the subdivision section, so it's a little farther back. But I think this might help. So this is saying, in addition to the phasing standards, the board may, at its sole discretion, set lot phasing requirements based upon adequate public school facilities. So that would give you the ability to, even with a 45 lots or fewer subdivision, phase it in 3 if you needed to, based off of school facilities.
okay,
But otherwise, it would be 2 phases.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
fine with
I
me.
like
Okay.
that, okay, that is better than.
That
So-
gives us
Gives a little
another,
control.
yeah,
At what number would be 2 phases?
45 or fewer.
Yes.
21 to 45.
I-
Divided, and their phases would be 2 divided by 2.
And let them come up with the phases they want. Do they want to do 10 at first and,
Okay.
yeah. they can-
Okay.
We don't need to divide it.
yeah, they can define their own phases where they want to.
I think the board is okay, 45 or less, 2 phases.
Right.
Over 45, it goes into the formula.
Right, so
And then
if,
plus we have the safety valve of the adequate facilities.
right.
The only adequate facility we've got is the schools in here,
Right.
correct?
Which is all it applies to right now.
Let me think about that real quick.
I mean, the only other side to that is if you're at 46, you're going to build 20 houses, and be left with 6.
Yep, well, you got to
It's-
have a cutoff somewhere.
It's not as bad as what you were saying of like, you know, you got 2 lots to
2
develop,
lots left.
but it's still 6.
Are we going to have that off? How many times is that going to pop up?
I don't know.
And you
Once-
don't have to do 20, 20, and 6. You could do 12
15,
and
15,
20
Yeah.
and, yeah.
We could sit here and name like 600
Oh my
different.
God, I know,
Yeah.
we can
All
cut
right.
Let's keep the train
45 it
rolling.
is.
Yeah, let's do.
Okay, before we move on, can we just set that language real quick, make sure we agree on what would be good ordinance language? Because when you make the motion, then it becomes ordinance. So I want to make sure that we're clear on what that's going to look like.
Selena's
Selena,
writing
you
it
ready?
down.
All right.
Write it.
All right.
If I write it, you won't be able to read it.
I
Okay,
can help you if you'd like. But,
I'll read it after I get it ready.
okay.
does that pretty much take us through this?
So that's the phasing piece. Then we had the concern that generally comes up when new subdivisions are adjacent to other residential development or residential subdivisions of wanting to add a buffer requirement. So another part of that is this requiring a perimeter landscape buffer. And this is amending in the landscaping section of the ordinance, the purpose and intent to include that its purpose is to provide appropriate transitions between new major subdivisions and adjacent residential properties. And then amending the applicability of that section that major subdivisions shall provide a buffer adjacent to existing residential development and residential subdivisions. Just make a note, as this is written, this is major subdivision, so it doesn't matter how many lots are coming in, it applies. It's not just for type 2. And then the type of buffer would be that major subdivisions shall provide a type B buffer adjacent to existing residential development and residential subdivisions. And I do have the buffer images from the ordinance here for your review. This is a type A, which is a basic buffer. The type B is called an aesthetic buffer. And hopefully you can see there what that includes. It's 8 aggregate caliper inches of canopy trees, 10 of understory trees, and 15 shrubs per 100 linear feet. That's if you're doing it within 25 feet. And with 10 feet, it's a little bit less canopy trees and more understory trees required per 100 linear feet.
So Jenny, what's the time limit for these buffers to be fully done?
You mean at what point will they
Well,
be
because-
planted or grown to this
Yeah,
level?
because we've had some buffers that have been planted and they still haven't reached their desired effect. So
Yeah.
should we put a time limit in this, or that the buffer's in place? Because right now, they say, yeah, I've done it, but then it's 20 years later and it still hasn't grown.
Well, sometimes
And
where
the
they had
buffer's
it,
not
where
there.
they, sometimes where like they've
Or
had it or it
dies.
dies and then they have to replace it and then.
That's fine, but
Yeah.
it never gets done, so the buffer could go then, if it dies, then we start all over again. I mean, to me, I think there's some point, we tell people there's gonna be a buffer, but then they're waiting and waiting and waiting. 5 years go by, the buffer's still not there, I mean, I don't know, I mean, this is great, but if nobody inspects it, we have a timeline.
Yeah, but you
plan-
can't with Mother Nature. I mean, you could have a buffer like like some of the solar farms, you could have a buffer and then half the trees die the first year, they replace them. And then 2 years later, we have a storm, some of them break, they die. I mean, that happens all the time. I mean, as long as the buffer just keeps being replaced in place, you know what I'm saying? It might take 10,
think-
15
How
years.
long do we give a buffer to, okay, let's say we replace the trees or bushes, do we say they have to be back in whatever, in a year, 6 months? I don't know, I'm not an arborist or anything, but, yeah, okay, let's say they die or break or whatever you're saying. We replant them, is there a timeline for them to get full again? I have no idea.
There's language in the final plat or something like that that goes out and checks those things, correct?
Well, we check that it's
Done,
It's done.
planted before the final
but
plat's
that is
signed.
not,
But there's no timeline for
and you
I
don't
mean,
go,
but
you
you
don't
could have,
go
I
back
mean,
and
like
check
this,
it.
this year would be a perfect example, how much drought we had if somebody planted something in
Okay,
April or
right,
May,
right.
and it's barely rained until, like right now. But like I said, so the buffer would mature less, and then if it rained a lot, it might mature more.
And my point is that if we're telling these other citizens of adjoining properties, yeah, they're gonna plant a buffer, you won't see anything.
I see your point, because I see different things, solar farms and what have you, and they've been there a while and there's not a buffer there covering them yet.
Like the one in Grandy, there was some spot on Grandy Road, like where they were required to put trees, and there was trees literally like you couldn't see nothing was on the other side, and they still had to plant some trees to get to that number.
But it buffered it and you didn't see
Oh,
nothing.
yeah, I mean, they
you
could have
didn't-
planted a flower and it would have, you
All right, well, I
wouldn't
was
have
just
seen it.
curious because.
Might I
it's-
make a suggestion? If somebody is doing this in the heat of July, it's kind of ridiculous to expect them to go out there and plant all those trees. Can't they bond the landscaping and then do it in the fall when it's the appropriate time to plant trees? Because it's ridiculous
To spend all that
to
money.
make them spend money in July just so that they can get through it. But if they can bond it, then they can do it at the appropriate time to plant the trees.
And I don't have a problem with that. My concern is, yeah, we gotta make sure it's there. And
Well-
if we plant it in July and it dies, then that defeats the
I
purpose.
think that's something that builders sometimes do if, it's the dead of winter or it's rained a flood and they can't plant the grass to get the final, that they are allowed to do what you're saying.
Okay.
Because Janet, we don't go back and check. Once it's planted, and they did what they're supposed to do, that's it, right?
No, they go back, because there's been complaints, I can think of 3 or 4 of the places where they've had to send Jenny and them.
After a complaint, though, I mean.
Well,
They, trust me, people, that people complain.
there's, at some point, they're complete. If trees die after some point in time, I mean, we can't keep going back year after year after year
decade
after
later.
year.
So the HOA is responsible for the buffer?
Right.
Like when I was the Gables, I planted, and I was recused from that vote. And I think we planted 600 and some, and after a year, I think I lost like a dozen, and I replanted them.
I think
Yeah, that was just my
stuff like
concern.
that can fall on the HOA after it's turned over to them, or we bond it or something, because there's just certain seasons when you can't plant stuff. You can plant the Russian olives 365, but if you want hardwood trees or oaks or maples or whatever,
Non-invasive.
yeah, you can't plant them in the middle of July and expect them to live unless somebody's out there watering them every day.
Plant a mimosa.
But then maybe we can change the
blizzard,
language
that thing would
that allows
sprout.
them to plant
Yeah.
the buffer at the appropriate planting season.
Yeah, I mean, they hopefully they understand that they shouldn't be planting the trees
Well,
in the
okay,
middle
but I
of
mean,
July.
go with them, yeah, because I don't want to get strict and say,
Am I adding something else to it? So do you want?
We do have, I mean, we allow the bonding of
Oh,
trees
well, that should
currently,
cover
and
it.
then
so
they can
that-
plant it wherever they want,
Yeah.
as long as it's said before they're done. Okay,
Yes.
all right. All right,
What else?
that was the only question I had.
Let's see if I covered everything. I think we covered everything in this particular amendment.
Jenny, may I read this to you to see
Yes,
before
sure.
I put it in the record?
Let me get a
Yes.
red pen first. No, I'm just kidding.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll start with the section of it, which is 2.4.8E1B4. Type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. Then say, for subdivisions of 21 to 45 lots, a requirement of at least 2 phases may be allowable with no more than 1 recorded with any 12-month period, and then pick it back up with the rest of it. Each phase shall contain no more than 35% of the total number. Would that be sufficient, just to add that sentence before what's in the verbiage that you gave us?
We may need to add a sentence, I'm sorry if you already did that, for subdivisions of 46 lots or more.
Okay.
But let me just think about that.
I have a question. The number 45 is,
Bugging you.
it is, because mathematically it doesn't make sense. If we said 50, okay, so 20 is 35% of 57, okay? So if we put that number at 57, we don't have to worry about 20 or 35%, whichever is greater, any of that. We just say, hey, 57 and under, you can build in 2 phases. Greater than that, you got to follow this chart, and it actually changes the number.
Well, if you do 57 though, think about how many
More
lots that is
houses.
at once.
Right.
I mean, you're, okay, also odd number, which that's kind of
You
hard.
still have to do it in 2 phases,
It's
though.
not an odd, well, it is an odd number, but the number is mathematically significant. Because 20 is 35% of 57. So, if you build 57, you can just say 35%.
Well, if you do 40, 35% of 40 is 14.
Yeah, but,
So we could do 40.
or 20, whichever.
If you want a number that's,
But the number, the verbiage is or 20, whichever is greater. So that's going to default to 20. It's going to default to 20 all the way up to 57.
Unless you remove the, or 20, whichever is greater, and just do the
Well, that's what-
percentage.
That's what I'm saying. If we started at 57, we wouldn't need that verbiage.
Regardless, if you start at 57, you could consider just dropping the 20 altogether and just having it be phased on the percentage.
Well, then you're
And then you're doing
guaranteeing-
3 phases.
Then you're guaranteeing a 21 lot subdivision has 3 phases.
well, but like Selena said, 57 is a lot. So,
I mean, to me, if you're gonna, just from the history that I've seen on here, it's not just gonna be houses, there's amenities to be considered too. So if you've got the third phase at 6, if it's 46, or
That's for all
5,
the
you know,
yeah.
then they can put the amenities in phase 3, or they can do a smaller phase 2 and do the amenities. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways they could do it. I think this is pretty clean if we're just gonna allow them 2 phases.
There's ways you can break it up. I
I
agree
mean,
with
there's
Selena
100
on-
ways.
on-
I mean, but to me, you know, this ensures that they're not going to come in and build
57.
35 houses at a time and that type of thing, which we know some of these national builders can do.
Could do that in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think this is a protection from that. So it, once again, the addition would be in 2.4.8E1B4, the language, type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. For type 2 subdivisions of 21 to 45 lots, a requirement of at least 2 phases may be allowable with no more than 12, within 12-month period measured from the time, just like it reads there, measured from the time, I lost it, of the recordation date of the previous final plat. And then the rest of it would be the same. Each phase and then we would say for subdivisions of 46 lots or more, each phase shall contain no more than 35%, the rest of it. Is that clear enough?
I'm wondering if we could move
This was supposed to be a quick meeting.
You said it.
the no more than one phase may be recorded within a 12-month period to an item number 5.
Okay,
Opposed to grouping it with that
okay,
sentence, so it would end at whichever is greater. So type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. For
okay.
subdivisions of 45 lots or fewer. And then what you said about the.
Okay, so 2.4.8E1B4 would read, type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. For type 2 subdivisions of 21 to 45 lots, a requirement of at least 2 phases may be allowable. And then say for subdivisions of 46 lots or more, each phase shall contain no more than 35% of the total number of proposed lots or 20 lots, whichever is greater. And then that would be 2.4.8E1B5. No more than one phase may be recorded within a 12-month period measured from the recordation date of the previous final plat. Subsequent phases shall not be recorded until building permits have been issued for at least 65% of the lots in the prior phase. The preliminary plat shall include the earliest recordation date for each phase. How does that sound? Okay, got it.
So therefore, the is going to apply in
Yes.
the fourth scenario without repeating it twice.
Is that your motion?
No, we just.
Not yet.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Not yet.
Selena, can you read 248B4 again?
Yes. It would say, type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. For type 2 subdivisions of 21 to 45 lots, a requirement of at least 2 phases may be allowable. Type 2 subdivisions of 46 lots or more, each phase shall contain no more than 35% of the total number of proposed lots or 20 lots, whichever is greater. And then 2.4.8E1B5 would say no more than one phase may be recorded within any 12-month period measured from the recordation date of the previous final plat. Subsequent phases shall not be recorded until building permits have been issued for at least 65% of the lots in the prior phase. The preliminary plat shall include the earliest recordation date for each phase.
Okay, so I want to, the language of 21 to 45 lot subdivisions, 2 phases may be allowable.
Yes, because we have the discretion to make them do more, correct?
And then they have a 35 that they're doing 3.
So, so what about one phase? If they've got a 23 lot
The first
subdivision,
sentence says, shall be developed in phases.
so we're requiring everything that's over 21 lots to be phased.
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions? Well, now I'm going to open the public hearing.
That wasn't a motion either.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
But we have no one signed up. Is there anyone wish to speak that didn't sign up? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and see if Selena can repeat that for the fourth time.
All right.
As a motion.
If I may just
Yes.
touch on the recommendation, the planning board and staff recommend approval because it's in conformance with the purpose of the ordinance as well as the Imagine Currituck 2040 vision plan, including the land use goals 1.4, 1.5, policy 2, and the infrastructure and county services goals 1 and 2.
Did the whole planning board support it?
Yes, it was unanimous.
All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Let me clarify one thing before you do that.
Okay.
Ms. Turner? To clarify, a 44-lot subdivision does not have to be in phases, correct? It's when a 45-lot subdivision, 2 phases. So from 21 to 45, it's got to be in 2 phases. So if I do a 21-lot subdivision, I got to do 1 phase of 11 and 1 phase of 10, or vice versa?
I don't like that.
Yeah, it keeps the growth slowed down and
Yep.
keeps it under control.
It limits national builders.
Yep.
This will be the most,
Probably is gonna probably remove it in a year anyway.
Probably will.
They probably will.
this will be the
Being
most
real.
That'll be what they.
That's different how?
restrictive ordinance. People talk about lot sizes and density or whatever. This will change the face of development in Currituck County more than anything that's ever been done before.
And that's what we've heard the people say.
I'm not arguing against it. I'm just want everybody to understand that this is the Mac Daddy of ordinances that this county's ever adopted.
Jenny, would you say that developers are coming in and, like you talked about, they're voluntarily doing phases? Or are they foreseeing this? And you mentioned one that's doing 3 phases?
Yeah, I was mentioning adjacent to the Shores area, near there, was 35.
Over the course of how long?
Yeah, I don't see any builders here tonight talking against it.
3 years.
Okay.
So, well, the plat in 2024, April of 2024. The earliest date, 2026. 12 more lots. 11 lots. That was there. Now there are other subdivisions that have a lot larger phases, and a lot.
Will this apply to only residential?
It'll apply to, which generally are.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, I haven't heard from I haven't got emails, phone calls. I don't see any opposition tonight. I mean, I haven't gotten any negative feedback on this at all, so.
Oh, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm
No,
just
I'm
saying
just-
that
I'm
this is the most profound thing that this or any board has ever done to slow development in Currituck County. I'm making a statement. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong or right.
I have heartburn on like the lower end, the 21, 25 lot subdivisions being required, like the 2-year project, you know. That's, like, I like the idea. I'm with you. I think it's too much. I think it's too restrictive.
Well, you know, one thing I always say about UDOs is they're living documents, so.
And we've said boy, it's been talked about for a long time how we needed to get control of growth, slow it down. So,
And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, 20, I mean, I don't disagree neither. 20 lots or 25 lots is pretty much, I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, I agree with what Tony says. I mean, if the board wants to go how Commissioner Jarvis said, I'm good with that. But like the heartburn, like he said, the guy that's going to do 23 and then, you know, he has to do it in 2 years, you know, that's my only.
But if that's a small builder, then he might Want to take it slow.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
because
yeah,
of
that's what
some
I'm
of the
saying. I'm
building
just,
material,
Local
I mean, like I said, we
builders,
could do
I
this tonight,
think.
and 6 months from now, Raleigh says you can't. You know,
That's,
so I mean,
you know what?
That's right.
We could overrule
That's
it.
right.
Pretty sure they will after they
sure
see
they will.
this.
After they read ours, yeah.
Well,
so
so be it.
let's roll the dice, I guess.
Okay, finish your.
All right.
Are we
I
ready?
close the public hearing, and make your motion.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve PB 2607 Currituck County Text Amendment because it is in conformance with the general purpose and intent of the Unified Development Ordinance and is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan, including Land Use Goal 1.4, 1.5, and Land Use Policy 2 and ICS Goals 1 and 2. The following changes in language should also be included in 2.4.8E1B4. It should read, Type 2 subdivisions shall be developed in phases. For Type 2 subdivisions of 21 to 45 lots, a requirement of at least 2 phases may be allowable. For lot subdivisions with 46 lots or more, each phase shall contain no more than 35% of the total number of proposed lots or 20 lots, whichever is greater. No more, and 2.4.8E1B5 shall read, no more than one phase may be recorded within any 12-month period measured from the recordation date of the previous final plat. Subsequent phases shall not be recorded until building permits have been issued for at least 65% of the lots in the prior phase. The preliminary plat shall include the earliest recordation date for each phase.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, but I will say this. I think we really need to give some thought to this lower number and have another discussion on that, on the smaller ones. I'm for the bigger ones. I mean, that's the
100% with you.
ones. That's the ones
Okay,
that are.
what I would then
running
like
us
some
over.
feedback then from some concerned builders that if that's a big issue, which I haven't heard yet, so.
Well, you probably will after tonight.
Okay, well, then that's fine. Then they
Everybody watching at home, call Mike Payment.
Can, exactly.
No, I'm
Number
saying,
up on the screen.
regardless of whether I hear from anybody or not, I want to have a further conversation on that
as
number.
Chairman O'Neill said, I think the 25 is kind of. I mean, I'm good with everything else. And I think Commissioner Jarvis, the 45 is a great number.
think
But
the
like I said,
upper
if somebody
limits is
comes with
good.
like 25, I mean, it's kind of
I think the phasing on the lower end should be at the discretion of the board.
But we're going to have another discussion on
Okay.
that. We'll have a work session to discuss that. It accomplishes the stuff on the big, huge subdivisions
that we need.
that was needed.
And
Okay.
again, like I said, real quick, this is a living document, so adjustments can always be made.
Correct. So next, item 3, PB 26-08, Currituck County, request to amend the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 6, to clarify the allowable use, fire department mobile water supply as it relates to development and clarify water main size requirement. Ms. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a text amendment that was sponsored by the board, also at least in part, and then part by our technical review committee and specifically our public utilities department with respect to the water main sizing requirements. The first change here is in section 6.2.3 of the ordinance under utility standards in connection to the public water supply system. Striking through the public utilities folks they don't like this particular requirement that a hydrant has to be on an 8-inch line because they don't like reducing us or increasing a 6-inch line to an 8-inch line. It affects the water pressure and creates a water hammering effect, so they just feel like it's not the best way to build out the infrastructure. So they've requested this change to strike through that language and to add that in no instance shall a water main extension exceed the diameter of the existing water main. Then in the fire protection standards, this is also related to water main size, that Water mains serving hydrants shall be at least 8 inches in diameter when connecting to an existing water main of 8 inches in diameter or greater. And that hydrants may be served by a 6-inch main when extension of an existing 6-inch water main is approved by the utilities director. And then in no instance shall a fire hydrant be connected to a water main less than 6 inches in diameter. And then, yes.
Well, then one quick question: if we have any plans to increase any water mains anywhere in the county in the future, would they be required then, if that water main was increased, to increase the line to the fire hydrants? Because that
No,
would provide more flow then.
right. But the increase in the main would also,
Well, you're only gonna get so much flow through a size diameter.
there's no retroactive requirement to
I mean,
install
I
water
guess my question,
lines.
should we?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna increase, if we go from a 4-inch to an 8-inch line, and it only had a 4-inch going to the fire hydrant, should we then make the requirement then to make the fire hydrant line larger at that point?
I'm not even sure that we can. Kind of looking toward Megan.
Well, that's what I'm asking, because you'll get more
That
flow
fall
then.
on like an HOA?
I mean,
Would
it's
that
like a
even fall on?
retroactive retrofitting of
I mean, you're gonna get more flow then by that
for
way.
a subdivision that's already been approved.
Yeah,
or
I
a
don't think that
development
we
that's already
can
been
do that.
approved.
So
I
they're
don't think
stuck
we would
with
have
the
a-
flow that they, no matter if we increase
Correct.
the flow in front of it, they're stuck with what they have. is
That's
what you're
correct,
saying.
unless they
Unless they upgrade it.
decide to change it themselves.
Okay, I was just asking the question, okay.
Then there's the provision that was discussed related to the mobile water supply, the mobile shuttling that the fire departments can do. Amending the ordinance to require that mobile water supply shall not be the primary source of fire protection, to encourage on-site infrastructure for water supply. These are some of the land use plan goals and policies that may be relevant. And the planning board and staff recommend approval because the text amendment is consistent with the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan and the ordinance, including Land Use Goal 1 and Infrastructure and County Services Goals 1, 2, and 3. And I'd be happy to answer any additional questions at this time.
Anyone have questions? I just want to make a comment on the water shuttle. We need to encourage all the departments to have the water shuttle capabilities, but the infrastructure needs to be built underneath the water shuttle, not the water shuttle in lieu of the infrastructure. And that's what this does.
Yep.
So it actually strengthens the amount of water, not diminish. All right, any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. I have no one signed up. Is there anyone wishes to speak that didn't get to sign up? Seeing none, close the public hearing and ask the board for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve PB 26-08 Currituck County Text Amendment because it is consistent with the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan and the UDO, including Land Use Goals 1, ICS Goals 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Next agenda item is 26-09 Currituck County, request to amend the Unified Development Ordinance, Chapter 2, to provide conformance with recent changes to the North Carolina general statutes related to the removal of the waiting period for resubmitting development applications. Ms. Turner.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. This is just a strike through of the administration section of the UDO with respect to the legislative hearings, rezonings and such that required a waiting period of 1 year before an applicant could resubmit the same or similar application. The General Assembly has removed that as a provision that we can enforce. There is no waiting period. So we're striking through all of that language. Just a note that there is still, there's not a waiting period necessarily, but for the applications that require an evidentiary hearing, a quasi-judicial decision, there's a specific provision for those to basically show that something has changed substantially in the community or their application for them to come back to you. So it's not a waiting period per se, but that if they are denied, then they have to change their application somehow. Generally, that comes to you for a decision on whether it's significantly different or they can initiate an application. So that language remains in the ordinance. And the staff and planning board recommend approval because it's consistent with the ordinance and the land use plan, and it brings the ordinance into compliance with the state law.
All right. Any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. We have no one signed up to speak. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak that didn't sign up? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask the board for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve PB 26-09 Currituck County Tax Amendment because it is consistent with the Imagine Currituck 2040 Vision Plan and the UDO, and it brings the ordinance into compliance with NC General Statutes.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. New business. Item 1 is Board of Commissioners, District 5 vacancy. I believe that our county attorney is going to explain the process of filling that position.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, Commissioner Etheridge took a leave of absence, which was approved by the board due to his illness. And upon his leave of absence, Troy Brathwaite was serving as a temporary temporary commissioner. And at the time of Commissioner Etheridge's passing, there automatically exists a vacancy for District 5. Troy Brathwaite is no longer serving as commissioner. And so the process is that pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 153A-27, if a vacancy occurs on the Board of Commissioners, the remaining members of the board shall appoint a qualified person to fill the vacancy. To be eligible for appointment to fill a vacancy, a person must, 1, be a member of the same political party as Commissioner Etheridge, and 2, be a resident of the same district as Commissioner Etheridge, which was District 5. The board has to consult with the county executive committee of the Republican Party before filling the vacancy. The board is not bound by their recommendation, but they have to consult with the Currituck GOP prior to making their decision.
Any questions? I will be reaching out to members of the party executive committee to let them know the process, which they already know, and give them an opportunity to solicit applications, interview, and make a recommendation. Anything else? I think it's good for the general public to know how it works.
And one thing too, like you said, as the attorney said too, they have to be the same political party, because so we don't have 15 people call from, if they're unaffiliated or they're registered the different party, as Commissioner Etheridge was.
And live in his district.
And live in it, yeah, because it's like I said, and some people, might try to apply or reach out if they don't.
Right. Any other questions? I was on the board when we had a sheriff's vacancy, and it was of the Democrat Party, and this is the process we followed. And they made a recommendation, brought it to the board, and then
We've done it a couple
Kevin
times.
left.
When I left, we
had to do it for his seat too.
yeah,
And
and
Selena
how I
filled in for
George
Bobby.
did it for Bobby. So we've done it before.
Yeah.
Not the first rodeo.
I've
No.
sat through about 2-3 of them, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move to item 2, ordinance prohibiting unauthorized use of county seal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Several years ago, the North Carolina General Statutes allowed local governments to trademark their county seal or their municipal seal or whatever the case may be. However, no longer can local governments do that. They cannot do a trademark. Typically, it's for businesses, for-profit institutions, and things like that. So the only way that the county can prohibit the unauthorized use of the county seal, which a lot of times we'll see this on social media. People are holding themselves out to the public as a county official and using the seal when in fact they're not. So this ordinance amendment will actually make it a violation of the Currituck County Code of Ordinances in the event that somebody does that. This actually gives us teeth to demand someone to take the seal down or wherever they're using that.
We've had it where people in the past had used it when they, I mean, if you're on the, and I'm just going to use Parks and Rec Board. If I'm on the Parks and Rec Board, I'm not going to put the county seal on my email and everything, but we've had it where we've had issues and problems in the past where abuse of it. So I'm glad that we're putting this in play.
All right.
So staff would recommend approval.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I don't have anything for a public hearing.
No, I will say there is a criminal penalty attached to this in addition to a fine. So
5-second
it does
taser
have to
ride.
be read twice. You can vote on it tonight, but you'll have to vote on it again at the next meeting
Okay.
for it to
Okay.
be fully adopted.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 3 is board appointments to the Recreation Board. Andy Henniker for Mr. McCord and Kelly Peters for Mr. Angel. All in favor? Need a motion to,
Move for approval.
Move. Second.
all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any
Third.
further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners report, Mr. McCord.
I'm going to be brief. Thanks to Troy Breathwaite for filling in for Commissioner Etheridge during his illness. Troy did an excellent job. Troy's an excellent guy. And just thank him and his family because I know he took a lot of time away. Commissioner Etheridge will be missed. He was my friend. And pray for his family. And Owen will never be forgotten. I mean, he was an icon. He was a legend. And like Commissioner or Chairman O'Neill said, his name's like on all the buildings. So, like I said, I miss Owen every day. Last thing, the staff, thank you to the staff and everybody. The 2 fireworks shows that the county put on, I was looking at social media where somebody was complaining about a rival or a county up the road that their show was like 9 minutes. Our 2 shows were awesome.
That was like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kevin Wetzel, who's a Moyoc, and it's nice when you can share a business and local. He did an excellent job. And, if it wasn't for the staff, there's so much that goes into it. There were so many meetings, so many things. So, like, kudos to the staff for all the work that everybody did to make them both successful, make them both safe, and everything went just, like normal when we do them in Corolla. And I hate to say it, but it's going to be hard not to do it next year on the mainland too. So I won't be on the board then, but that's going to be up to you guys. But the staff did amazing. The shows were great. Good job. And if it weren't for them, we could vote on it, but they had to do all the work. So good to all of them. That's it for me. I was less than 60 seconds.
Commissioner Angel.
I think Kevin needs a new clock. Hey, echo Kevin. The fireworks are great. Good job, county staff. Great work. I want to express condolences to the Clark family. They lost their son last week. He was a rising junior at the high school. He was on the baseball team. But, big shout out to the community rallying around him. That's a tough thing for any family to go through, but, keep them in your prayers.
Thank you. Ms. Rose?
Well, I echo what Kevin said about Troy Breathwaite. He had extensive knowledge having served on the land use committee for the land use plan. And I think he served on the Board of Adjustments at one point, planning board. And I believe he came off of a board or two to fill in for Commissioner Etheridge. So we probably, we do need to thank him for his time. Community meetings, we wrapped those up at Knott's Island since our last meeting, and that was a very stormy night, but thanks to the folks that did come out and share their thoughts with us. The ferry, I'm very concerned about the ferry and the toll, and we need to continue working on opposing that. And certainly I do not want to see our student drivers have to pay a toll to ride the ferry to school. Many of those rely on their vehicles to get back home after participating in athletics or band or clubs. So we need to to look out for that. And somebody made a point today on Facebook that, our state is paying for students to get vouchers to private schools. So they surely can pay for our students if there's a toll imposed. That would be a good idea, I think.
Good point.
The fireworks, I want to thank staff. I know it was a lot of work to put on 2 shows, and I did not make it to the one in Kerala, but I heard it was great. But I did make it to the one in Poplar Branch, and it was wonderful. So I thank you. And it was not only Currituck residents there. I was behind a car leaving from West Virginia. Saw a lot of Virginia visitors and saw some folks on Facebook in the Camden community that they were coming over. And so thank you all for working so hard on that. And just one more thing, the family of Haven Clark, as Commissioner Angel said, we'd like to keep them in our prayers and thoughts. He was a baseball player, but he was also a junior firefighter for our Crawford Fire Department. And so, prayers for all of them. I know the fire department folks are very upset. Everybody that knew him is very upset. So prayers for all of them.
Thank you. Mr. Payment?
I'll just echo everything that was said. Owen is going to be missed. Every time I look over them, I'll be looking at his face in that chair over there. And I do want to send a thank you to Troy for stepping up and doing a great job as a commissioner filling in. And as it was mentioned that, Haven Clark, student and a citizen, but yeah, he was a junior firefighter, and all the volunteer fire departments here have a junior firefighter program. They go through all the training, they get outfitted gears, they go through the certifications. So some way at that young of an age, 16 years old, I believe, going through to give back to the community as a volunteer firefighter, even as a junior firefighter, says a lot for somebody's character, not only in sports and the schools, but wanting to give back to the community and help the citizens around here. And to let everybody know, if you're thinking about that, the volunteer fire departments they have junior academies. If you want to get started in a career, they have them. I've talked to a lot of the junior firefighters out there. They get excited. They do a great job. He'll be missed, and it's just a sad loss for a community, but just what he gave to the community, what he wanted to do is a testimony of the type of person that he was. And I just remember traffic out there is horrendous. A lot of stuff going on the roads. Kevin can attest to that. The firefighters are out there dealing with wrecks. It's hot. Be careful. If you got a neighbor out, if you got an elderly, just make a phone call or check on the elderly out there. The heat does terrible things to people. Check on folks, check on your neighbors, check on your friends, make sure they're okay, because it's been a brutal past few days out there. And that's all I got to say, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Jarvis?
Thank you. I think all the comments, they point to the fact that life is full of celebrations and sadness, and it's been a week to illustrate that. The highs of the 4th of July, unfortunately did not get to attend either because my 3-year-old grandson and 4-month-old granddaughter had other plans. And it just was not conducive to bring them at 9:30 to anything except to bed. But I heard great comments from so many people that did celebrate. So thank you to the staff for that. And sympathy for Owen's family as well as for Haven Clark's family. The celebration of Tolls Creek Elementary was certainly a high. The excitement on the young people's faces that will be attending that school made me so proud. The faces of the people that surround me from this county that I've taught with, and the children, it was such a proud moment to see that beautiful school open, and I couldn't be more proud of the job that the county and the school board working together brought that to fruition. I'm so proud of that. And finally, I will say that the Opioid Advisory Board will meet at the Public Safety Building on Thursday at 9 a.m. Many people have asked me how they can get involved, so I will say come and see what it's like to be part of a team that is saving lives and working to make our community better. It is a great organization to be a part of, and people are invited to come attend and listen and get involved. So thank you, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you. I'm going to have a couple comments. First of all, I did watch the Kerala fireworks from my dock. Got eaten alive by mosquitoes. But I did attend the fireworks at Muddy Motorsports, and I think it's appropriate to thank the Wright family and Dennis Anderson for allowing us to use that facility. There were so many young kids out there running around, and people tailgated just like if you were at a football game, and just seeing the families out there, and it was good, clean fun. Nobody got out of the way. The staff, the volunteers, the fire, EMS, the law enforcement, they really do a great job for this community, and I'm thankful for each and every one of them. The other thing I want to recognize is 250 years of the greatest nation that ever existed on this earth. And the difference between our Constitution and the Constitution of so many other countries is God granted us our freedom, and our Constitution put restraint on men. And that is the difference in our Constitution and the Constitution in these other countries where all your rights are given by the government. The government serves the people, and the people of this United States need to remember that and start taking back the freedoms that are being taken from you by an oppressive government that thinks that they give you your freedoms. They don't give you your freedoms. And I don't know if we teach that in schools anymore or in civics, but if you're listening to me tonight, your freedoms did not come from anybody in Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Just one quick comment. I'd like to see the mainland fireworks every year. I mean, it's such a good turnout. I think we should have that every year in the mainland.
I think
My
that's a
opinion.
good idea, or either alternate between Kerala and the mainland.
I'm just throwing it out there to the board.
We can certainly have that conversation. It was well attended and well liked.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want to attend one day when my grandchildren are able.
Yes. County Manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to recognize some folks in the community that made particularly the Mainland Fireworks Show successful. You mentioned the Wright family and Dennis Anderson, and we would not have been able to hold the event without those folks. Also want to recognize the Currituck County High School Air Force Junior ROTC Color
Did a
Guard.
great job.
Also Pastor Eric Fretz of the Bridge Church. The Currituck County High School Athletic and Band Boosters and ROTC provided concessions for the event. And also want to recognize Kelly Dattilo, who sang the national anthem
And it
for
was
us.
beautiful.
It was a home run,
was
all of it.
excellent.
Yeah.
Next year, we should have Commissioner Payment play it with the trombone. Just saying.
Okay.
So it certainly took a lot of staff as well. So I want to recognize emergency management, communications, inspections, parks and recreation, the sheriff's office, fire EMS, public works administration, Crawford Township Volunteer Fire Department, Lower Currituck Volunteer Fire Department, Kerala Fire and Rescue, and the North Carolina Forest Service. Many of those folks worked both days, worked both shows, so many thanks to them.
And the Crawford Fire Department had that gorgeous, humongous flag there.
If it happens next year, that needs to be out on the highway instead of
flag.
in the back.
Yeah.
Because the orientation was thinking that people were going to sit on the bleachers and watch it, but they all sat in their cars,
Yeah.
which
It was so
was
hot,
just
too.
spectacular.
Yeah.
Is that it? You sure? Y'all did a great job. I'll say it again. County Attorney report.
No report.
We need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
And second,
Kevin
all in
second.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed can stay.
Hey, have fun. Leanne.